the heart of ancient Persia, a towering empire began to unfold, seamlessly woven into the very fabric of history. This was not merely a kingdom, it was a powerful force that would redefine the concept of governance and influence across vast landscapes. The Persian Empire's rise commenced in the mid-6th century BCE, driven by a cohesive vision that began with the astute leadership of Cyrus the Great. His ambitions extended beyond mere territorial expansion. They encompassed the establishment of a dynamic, multicultural realm where diverse peoples could coexist under a shared banner. Like a master weaver at a loom, Cyrus intertwined the disparate threads of culture, language, and tradition, forging a tapestry that would soon cover much of the known world. At the core of this burgeoning empire lay the strategic brilliance of its leadership. Cyrus, often revered as a visionary, did not simply conquer. He inspired loyalty among those he ruled. The legend of his kindness towards captives, including the Israelites, showcased a remarkable departure from the brutal tactics of many contemporary rulers. Instead of tyranny, he introduced a system of governance rooted in respect and autonomy. Policies that honored local customs while promoting a broader Persian identity cultivated an unprecedented sense of allegiance among conquered peoples. This unity enabled the empire to thrive, turning it into a canvas painted with vibrant cultures, languages, and religious beliefs. It was a land where harmony flourished amid diversity, much like a well-conducted symphony enriching its audience with a fusion of sounds. As the Persian Empire flourished, its innovations in governance became a cornerstone of its strength. The establishment of satrapies or provinces transformed the vast domain into a manageable entity, allowing for efficient administration. Each satrap, like a trusted mayor in a sprawling city, oversaw local affairs while adhering to the empire's overarching laws and policies. This hierarchical structure not only facilitated communication across vast distances, but also reinforced loyalty among the provinces, creating a web of interconnected municipalities that functioned seamlessly. Furthermore, Persian law, characterized by its fairness and adaptability, served as a model that would influence future generations, proving that the strength of an empire could indeed lie in its capacity for governance. Yet standing beside governance as a pillar of the empire's ascent was the profound impact of religion and ideology. Zoroastrianism, the primary faith, shaped the moral compass of Persian society, emphasizing the duality of good and evil, light and darkness. This belief system not only influenced statecraft, but also unified the populace under a common spiritual ethos. It fostered a sense of purpose that transcended local affiliations, binding people to the empire as torchbearers of light in a world that was often shrouded in chaos. The reverence for a cosmic order imbued governance with a moral dimension, helping legitimize the rule of Cyrus and his successors. The very notion of an empire as a divine institution destined to bring about cosmic harmony resonated deeply within the hearts of its citizens, fortifying their commitment to this grand vision. As the sun cast its golden light over the vast Persian landscape, it illuminated not just the physical expanse of the empire, but also the rising tide of influence that would soon ripple across borders. The intricate architecture of governance, the poignant ideals of shared spirituality, and the socio-political innovations combined to create a cohesive force unlike any seen before. With each province thriving under a common purpose, and with cultural exchanges enriching the lives of its citizens, the Persian Empire was poised to embark on a journey of unprecedented expansion. But, as the narrative of its glory begins to unfold, subtle undercurrents of rivalry and ambition simmered beneath the surface, foreshadowing the challenges that lay ahead. As the Persian Empire unfurled its vast tapestry across the ancient world, it became a living mosaic of cultures, languages, and traditions. Encompassing an expanse stretching from the Indus Valley to the Mediterranean, this colossal realm was not merely a dominion of conquest. It was a crucible of human expression, uniting diverse peoples and lifestyles. Within its borders, with their rich intersections of civilizations, the Persian Empire thrived as an extraordinary melting pot, showcasing the profound power of cultural amalgamation. Imagine the empire as an intricate quilt, each patch representing a unique culture: Babylonian, Egyptian, Elamite, and others, all meticulously stitched together. Each thread bore the weight of its own story, yet joined in a greater narrative of unity and progress. This blend did not dilute individual identities, rather, it enriched and elevated them. Persian administrators, equipped with a policy of tolerance and respect for local customs, allowed subjects to maintain their languages, rituals, and practices, fostering an environment where diverse voices could resonate collectively. It was a sophisticated approach to governance that recognized the strength found in difference and collaboration, shaping a society where ideas could flourish. Cultural exchanges were abundant in this diverse landscape, enabling innovations to spread like wildfire. Trade routes burgeoned, allowing merchants to traverse the empire, carrying not just goods, but also philosophies and artistic expressions. It was through the bustling bazaar of cities like Persepolis and Babylon that Persian artists absorbed the techniques of their conquered territories, creating stunning masterpieces that blended native motifs with imported styles. This synergy was not limited to art. It reached into the realms of science, mathematics, and literature. The achievements of thinkers from various cultures mingled, enriching the intellectual fabric of this administrative behemoth. Yet, the tapestry spun by the Persian Empire was as much about order and cohesion as it was about vibrant diversity. Central to its unification was a shared vision of identity, cultivated under the banner of the Achaemenid rulers. They understood that for a multi-ethnic empire to succeed, it required a framework that emphasized common purpose while respecting individuality. Cultural festivals became grand spectacles, celebrating the empire's plurality, reinforcing connections among its inhabitants. These gatherings were vital, drawing in the disparate threads of the empire to weave a stronger communal fabric, where loyalty to Persia flourished amidst local pride. As the sun set over this grand civilization, it illuminated a world transformed not only by conquest, but by a harmonious tapestry that celebrated both diversity and unity. The Persian Empire was a beacon of coexistence, setting a remarkable precedent in human history. This intricate blend of cultures, grounded in mutual respect, would leave an indelible mark, teaching lessons of unity that resonate even into the present day. As we turn the page, we will delve into the man at the helm of this empire, a visionary leader whose ambitions and principles shaped an age. At the heart of the Persian Empire's ascent lay one extraordinary figure, Cyrus the Great. His vision was more than military conquest. It was the creation of a vast and cohesive empire that bridged the divide between diverse peoples, cultures, and traditions. Imagine a masterful conductor orchestrating a symphony where each instrument, representing various nations and beliefs, harmonizes rather than clashes. Cyrus possessed that rare ability to unite rather than conquer, establishing a sense of shared purpose among the myriad of cultures within his expanding realm. Cyrus's leadership was characterized by a profound respect for the traditions and customs of those he conquered. Instead of imposing Persian culture as a single dominating force, he embraced the rich tapestry of identities within his empire. This approach not only fostered loyalty among his subjects, but also transformed the image of a ruler from a tyrant to a liberator. His edict to allow the exiled Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple exemplified this visionary philosophy. By honoring local customs and religions, Cyrus cultivated an atmosphere of stability and flourishing diversity, ensuring that the empire thrived on its multicultural foundations. Moreover, Cyrus's leadership style extended beyond respect for diversity. He established systems of governance that were remarkable for their time. His introduction of satraps, provincial governors responsible for local administration, was an innovative solution to managing a sprawling empire. Each satrap was vested with autonomy, yet he maintained oversight through regular communication and checks to prevent abuse of power. This structure mirrored an intricate web, where each strand was pivotal, but equally dependent on the others for support, enabling efficient governance across vast distances. Cyrus didn't just build an empire, he wove together a geopolitical masterpiece. His charisma and strategic insight galvanized not just armies, but also a populace inspired by the potential of a shared future. The legacy of his reign resonates even today, as he established principles of tolerance and human rights that continue to inspire leaders around the globe. His vision was akin to planting a seed that, given the right conditions, could grow into a towering tree, sheltering all beneath its branches. Thus, Cyrus the Great transcended the role of a conqueror, morphing into a symbol of enlightened leadership, where vision and governance intermingled seamlessly for the grander good of humanity. In the wake of Cyrus's revolutionary leadership, the empire blossomed, setting the stage for innovations that would redefine governance. As the majestic edifice of the Persian Empire rose, it became a crucible for innovative ideas and complex administrative structures, breathing life into the notion of statecraft and integrated power. As the Persian Empire unfurled its vast expanse across continents, its achievements in governance became the cornerstone of its status as the world's first superpower. This was not merely a hierarchy of rulers. It represented a complex web of innovative systems that harmonized a multitude of cultures, languages, and traditions. The genius of Persian governance lay in its adaptability and inclusivity, establishing a model that would resonate through the annals of history. A keen understanding of human nature, combined with practical strategies, allowed the Achaemenids to oversee a sprawling realm that encompassed diverse peoples, from the Mediterranean coast to the fringes of Central Asia. Central to the Persian model was the concept of decentralization through a careful network of satrapies, or provinces, each administered by local governors. Unlike rigid empires that imposed uniformity, the Persians practiced a form of benevolent governance, granting a degree of autonomy to these satraps. This allowed local customs and laws to flourish under the watchful eye of the empire, ensuring loyalty rather than resentment. Think of it as a vast orchestra, with each musician playing their note, yet all under the master conductor's guidance. The satraps were encouraged to collect taxes and maintain order, while the central authority maintained influence through regular inspections and the transmission of clear, standardized laws, reflecting the empire's commitment to a fair and just rule. Another pillar of Persian governance was the establishment of a postal system that was both efficient and reliable, much like a modern-day internet that facilitated rapid communication across vast distances. This innovation not only enabled swift dispatch of edicts from the great king to provincial governors, but also fostered a sense of unity among the empire's inhabitants. Roads, such as the famed Royal Road, crisscrossed the land, serving as arteries of trade and communication, allowing news and resources to flow seamlessly. In a time when the message could be as powerful as the sword, this interconnectedness fortified the empire's stability, enabling it to respond promptly to challenges and opportunities alike. Moreover, the Persians were pioneers in introducing legal codifications and bureaucratic practices that would influence governance for centuries to come. The concept of law and order found form in the edicts of Cyrus and his successors, who recognized the importance of a stable society to maintain control. The codification of laws, known to apply uniformly across the empire, provided an essential framework that transcended the varied cultural backgrounds of its citizens. This idea of a common legal foundation operated much like a tapestry woven from distinct threads, where each thread retained its uniqueness while contributing to an enduring unity. Indeed, this blend of local and universal governance formed a sophisticated political ecosystem that accommodated diversity without sacrificing coherence. In the realm of taxation and resource management, the Persians innovated further, implementing a system that not only generated revenue for the empire, but also encouraged economic growth. By recognizing the agricultural calendars and production cycles of different regions, they tailored tax obligations to fit local circumstances, thereby fostering goodwill among their subjects. This awareness of socioeconomic dynamics made Persia not just a ruler of lands, but a steward of the very lives of its people, cementing bonds that would span generations. With these administrative innovations, the Persian Empire placed itself on a pedestal of governance that attracted admiration, setting a standard for future empires to emulate. As we step back to view this grand tableau of governance, we find ourselves at a crucial juncture in history, where the foundations laid by the Achaemenid rulers not only orchestrated their immediate success, but paved the way for a broader evolution of political structures. Yet as their influence spread, so too did the intricate role of religion and ideology, ushering in a new dimension that would further deepen the complexity of their achievements. Thus, the story of the Persian Empire continues, an evolving narrative where every innovation and policy weaves into the fabric of its enduring legacy. In the vast deserts of ancient Persia, where the sun cast long shadows and the winds whispered secrets of a multitude of beliefs, the seeds of a unifying ideology took root. The Persian Empire, under the visionary leadership of figures like Cyrus the Great, emerged not only as a political entity, but as a profound spiritual amalgamation that would shape its influence across continents. At its heart lay Zoroastrianism, a faith that preached the duality of forces, the eternal struggle between good and evil, and the sovereignty of Ahura Mazda, the supreme deity. This codifying ideology provided a spiritual framework that bound diverse peoples together, a celestial thread weaving through a tapestry of cultures, uniting them under a common banner while respecting their distinct identities. As the empire expanded, its leaders recognized the power of ideology to solidify control and inspire loyalty among conquered peoples. The Persians adopted a unique approach that echoed through the annals of history. They did not impose their beliefs forcefully, but rather integrated local deities and customs within the overarching framework of Zoroastrian ethics. Imagine a grand diplomatic banquet where each guest brings a dish from their homeland. Similarly, the Persians invited the diverse populations within their realm to share in a broader spiritual feast. This inclusion fostered a sense of belonging, transforming the empire from a collection of territories into a cohesive entity rooted in mutual respect and shared values. However, the role of religion in cementing the empire's dominance extended beyond mere tolerance. The iconography of Zoroastrianism became a symbol of imperial power, illustrating the divinely ordained authority of Persian rulers. The imagery of light battling darkness mirrored the ideals of justice and righteousness that the empire sought to embody. In this way, religious narratives served as powerful propaganda, solidifying the perception of the Persian monarchs as both earthly kings and celestial agents who governed by divine right. The prosperity and stability of the empire were attributed to this divine favor, and the people revered their leaders not just as politicians, but as stewards of a sacred mandate. Moreover, the influence of religion permeated various facets of governance and social structure. The practice of worship was not confined to temples. It radiated through civic life, intertwining governance and spirituality in everyday experiences. Festivals, rituals, and communal gatherings created a shared cultural heritage that transcended linguistic and ethnic boundaries. These practices cultivated loyalty, binding individuals to their communities and to the state itself. Much like a well-woven fabric where each thread is essential for the whole, the merging of religion and governance ensured the stability and resilience of the empire, especially during tumultuous periods of expansion and integration. As we progress further into the complexities of the Persian Empire, we will uncover how this unifying force of ideology, intertwined with religion, not only cemented the internal strength of this ancient superpower, but also laid the groundwork for its military endeavors. The harmony of faith and governance endowed the Persian army with a profound sense of purpose, fueling an ambition that would reshape the geopolitical landscape of the ancient world. At the heart of the Persian Empire's ascendance as the first superpower in history lay its formidable military, a complex entity forged through innovative structure and strategic brilliance. The Persian army, unlike many of its contemporaries, was not just a collection of warriors, but a carefully orchestrated mechanism that combined diverse units, each contributing unique strengths. This incorporation of various groups, such as cavalry, archers, and infantry, resembled a well-tuned orchestra where each instrument played a vital role in a harmonious performance. The strategic integration of these different forces not only enhanced battlefield effectiveness, but also fostered a sense of unity among the myriad cultures within the empire. Cyrus the Great's visionary leadership was vital in shaping the military's ethos, emphasizing loyalty and discipline through a rigorous chain of command. Soldiers were often drawn from the very lands they protected, instilling a sense of pride and ownership in their missions. The famed Persian Immortals, an elite unit of 10,000 soldiers, served as both frontline warriors and a symbol of invincibility. This meticulous attention to the human element in warfare laid the groundwork for effective operations that transcended sheer numbers. Whether charging valiantly into battle or holding the line against overwhelming odds, the Persian military personified both resilience and might. Moreover, the Persian army's strategies were characterized by adaptability, mirroring the versatility of a seasoned chess player who anticipates multiple moves ahead. Campaigns were meticulously planned, using intelligence gathered from local populations to exploit enemy weaknesses. The generals, educated in the art of warfare and the nuances of various terrains, adapted tactics with stunning agility. Whether executing flanking maneuvers in the hills of Anatolia or staging sieges along tumultuous riverbanks, the Persian military leveraged the psychological elements of warfare, demonstrating that coercion, deferment, and sometimes diplomacy were as effective as brute force. Yet, the brilliance of the Persian military was not solely in its combat prowess. It thrived on a profound understanding of logistics and infrastructure. The empire's vast road networks, including the famed Royal Road, served a dual purpose. They expedited not only the movement of armies, but also the swift exchange of information. This interconnectedness allowed for rapid mobilization and a sophisticated command structure that could adjust to the tides of battle in real time. Army units could be swiftly deployed to distant frontiers to quell rebellion or reinforce a beleaguered garrison, demonstrating a level of strategic foresight unseen in many of the contemporaneous powers. In essence, the Persian army was not merely a tool of conquest. It became a vital component of the empire's identity and longevity. Its sophisticated structure and dynamic strategies set a precedent that would influence military thought for centuries to come. This multifaceted approach to warfare laid the groundwork for the empire's expansive reach and enduring legacy, echoing down through the annals of history. As the Persian Empire solidified its dominance through military might, the next chapter unfolds, revealing the intricate infrastructure and communication networks that would further enhance its power and influence across the ancient world. To understand how the Persian Empire became the first superpower in history, one must delve into the sophisticated infrastructures and communication networks that underpinned its vast dominion. Imagine the empire as an intricate web woven together by roads and messengers, each strand vital for the flow of information and goods across its sprawling territories. From the bustling markets of Babylon to the majestic halls of Persepolis, this network facilitated not only trade, but the administration of its diverse lands. The development of a remarkable road system, most notably the Royal Road, stretching over 1,600 miles, allowed for rapid movement, enabling messages to traverse from one end of the empire to the other in a matter of days, a feat that transformed governance and control in ancient times. The Persians designed their infrastructure with precision, each road and pathway meticulously constructed to serve both military and civilian purposes. Often compared to the arteries of a great organism, these roads transported troops, merchants, and travelers alike, pulsating with the heartbeat of an empire. However, it was not merely the physicality of the roads that ensured effective communication. It was the establishment of a sophisticated system of couriers that truly showcased Persian ingenuity. Deliverers known as angarium would race along these thoroughfares, ensuring that messages from the satraps or provincial governors reached the royal court swiftly. This network underscored the centralization of power, allowing the imperial seat to maintain a grasp over its far-flung regions, much like a conductor leading a grand orchestra. In addition to the roads and messengers, the Persian Empire implemented a standardized system of weights and measures, along with a common currency, promoting connectivity among its diverse cultures. Picture a bustling bazaar where traders from different regions could engage in commerce without the fear of misunderstanding one another. This uniformity not only eased transactions, but also fostered a sense of belonging within the empire. The introduction of coinage, particularly coins like the daric, not only streamlined trade, but catalyzed economic growth, further binding together the vast tapestry of peoples and cultures under Persian rule. Yet, communication transcended mere logistics. The art of diplomacy flourished under the Achaemenids, where the written word was harnessed as a tool for soft power. Royal edicts, inscribed upon clay tablets or parchment, were dispatched with great care to inform citizens and officials alike of the empire's policies and proclamations. Libraries, such as the one in Babylon, began to emerge, serving as archives for the knowledge and cultural heritage of the peoples within the empire. This proliferation of literacy and documentation fostered a growing sense of identity and unity, even as the Persian Empire encompassed a multitude of languages and traditions. As this intricate infrastructure and communication framework tightened the bonds within the empire, it also laid the groundwork for the expansion of trade networks and economic power. With the means to travel swiftly and trade easily, the Persian Empire became a conduit of exchange, propelling it to heights of influence that had never before been seen. It was here, in this era of interconnectedness and innovation, that the foundations of a true superpower were laid, setting the stage for further exploration into how these intricate networks would enhance cultural exchanges and lay the groundwork for mutual influence among its subjects and beyond. As the Persian Empire unfurled its vast tapestry across the ancient world, the intricate web of trade networks became the very foundation of its economic power. Imagine a colossal spider spinning its web, connecting distant lands through pathways of commerce, where silk, spices, precious metals, and ideas flowed like a river of opportunity. The Persian Empire harnessed this potential, transforming its territories into a vibrant marketplace that attracted traders and merchants from far and wide. From the bustling bazaars of Babylon to the vibrant streets of Sardis, the spirit of trade ruled, creating a pulsating heartbeat that drove both prosperity and innovation. At the epicenter of this economic machine was a sophisticated system of roads and routes that crisscrossed the empire. The famed Royal Road, stretching over 1,600 miles, served not only as a vital thoroughfare for military and administrative efficiency, but also as a conduit for trade. By facilitating communication and transportation, it rendered once distant regions accessible, bridging cultural divides and enabling the swift exchange of goods and ideas. In this manner, the Persian traders, like skilled navigators of the sea, charted their course across deserts and mountains, establishing a seamless connection between the heart of Persia and its farthest reaches. The Persian embrace of trade extended beyond mere transactions. It was a transformative force that shaped economies and influenced societies. As goods flowed in and out of Persian markets, they carried with them not just commodities, but also knowledge and craftsmanship. Artisans from the Mediterranean added their techniques to Persian ingenuity, leading to the creation of exquisite textiles and intricate metalwork that blended styles from various corners of the empire. This cultural melting pot not only enriched the Persian palate, but also attracted even more traders, creating an escalating cycle of economic and cultural interaction. The empire became a crucible of innovation, where the amalgamation of diverse influences sparked advancements in various fields, from astronomy to agriculture. But the wealth generated by these trade networks did more than merely adorn the palaces of Persia. It fueled a complex economy that allowed the empire to wield unprecedented power. With resources flowing in, the Persians could sustain their military ambitions and expand their territories, subjugating neighboring lands and integrating them into their vast economic orbit. Taxes collected from these regions, along with the tribute paid willingly by vassal states, further enriched the imperial coffers. This wealth supported grandiose projects, from the construction of monumental cities to the establishment of a formidable administrative apparatus. Each brick laid and each plow turned echoed a commitment to maintaining the empire's grandeur and stability, reinforcing its status as the first superpower in history. As trade played its pivotal role in the rise of the Persian Empire, it became evident that the prosperity it engendered was both a blessing and a challenge. The vast economic landscape, teeming with prosperity and bustling with activity, also introduced the complexities of rivalry and competition. Nations bordering Persia eyed its wealth yearningly, while traders within the empire navigated the intertwining paths of allegiance and ambition. In this vibrant tableau, the empire was painting a vivid picture of power, one brushstroke at a time, setting the stage for cultural exchanges that would resonate beyond the boundaries of mere commerce. With each barter, alliance, and negotiation, the Persian Empire was not just expanding its economic reach, but crafting a legacy that would shape future civilizations and resonate through time. At the heart of the Persian Empire's emergence as the first superpower in history lay a vibrant exchange of cultures, ideas, and traditions, a complex web of mutual influence that traversed the vast geographical expanse of its territory. This cultural dynamism did not arise solely from military conquests or economic prowess. Rather, it was rooted in the empire's remarkable capacity to integrate disparate communities and celebrate their contributions to a collective identity. The Persian Empire, sprawling across 3 continents, became a melting pot where languages, religions, and artistic expressions blended harmoniously, fostering a rich tapestry of human experience. Picture the bustling markets of ancient cities like Babylon and Persepolis, echoing with the sounds of multiple tongues. Here, merchants from across the empire shared goods and stories, painting a mosaic of cultural exchange. The Aryans welcomed Zoroastrianism, an innovative faith that would shape ethical frameworks far beyond Persia's borders. In turn, the empire absorbed the artistic influences of the conquered peoples, from the intricate frescoes of Assyria to the majestic sculptures of Egypt. Each culture contributed its own thread to the broader narrative, creating a vibrant society where dialogue flourished and knowledge transcended boundaries. As the empire expanded, so too did the channels of communication and creativity. The Royal Road, a monumental network facilitating trade and interaction, served as the lifeblood of these exchanges, enabling not just the movement of goods, but also the migration of ideas. Scholars and artisans traveled along these well-worn pathways, sharing technological advancements, mathematical concepts, and philosophical thought. This exchange was reciprocal, as Persian art and science began to influence neighboring regions, giving rise to innovations that would resonate for centuries. Imagine a painter in ancient Greece being inspired by the fine craftsmanship of Persian textiles, or a Greek philosopher pondering the ethical inquiries posed by Zoroastrian doctrines. Religion, in particular, played a crucial role in fostering mutual influence. The Persian Empire's policy of religious tolerance and respect for local customs allowed diverse faiths to flourish alongside Zoroastrianism. This open-minded approach not only eased tensions between conquered peoples, but also facilitated a cross-pollination of ideas that enriched each tradition. For instance, the melding of Zoroastrian beliefs with Babylonian practices led to new understandings of cosmic dualism that would influence later philosophical and theological frameworks in the region. This exchange of ideas encouraged a sense of unity amid diversity, cultivating a shared identity in a realm that spanned thousands of miles. In essence, the Persian Empire was more than a mere political entity. It was a vibrant cultural crucible that exemplified the power of integration in fostering greatness. The exchanges of art, philosophy, and spirituality not only enhanced the empire's internal cohesion, but also expanded its influence far beyond its borders, laying the groundwork for subsequent civilizations. The cultural richness that arose from these interactions not only defined the Persian experience, but also shaped the trajectory of human history. As we delve deeper into the Achaemenid legacy, we will explore how these cultural exchanges laid the foundation for both the empire's remarkable achievements and the challenges that lay ahead. The legacy of the Achaemenid Empire resonates through history, echoing the profound influence that it wielded over the world, shaping not only the course of empires to come, but also the framework of governance, culture, and interaction among diverse peoples. As the first empire of its kind, the Achaemenid rulers established models of administration that would become foundational for future civilizations. They introduced systems of provincial governance, where local rulers retained certain powers, effectively weaving a complex tapestry of autonomy within a vast imperial structure. This approach fostered a sense of loyalty among various cultures and ethnicities, enabling seemingly disparate groups to operate under a unified banner while still celebrating their unique identities. At the heart of this legacy was the innovative concept of tolerance. Cyrus the Great's decree to allow exiled peoples, including the Jews, to return to their homelands marked a departure from coercive rule. Instead, Cyrus prioritized coexistence over oppression, establishing a template for governance that prioritized dialogue and respect for local customs. This shift was not merely pragmatic, it was a strategic vision that recognized the power of unity through diversity. The Achaemenid Empire fostered a sense of belonging among its subjects, creating a communal identity that transcended tribal affiliations. Consequently, the empire became a fertile ground for ideas, as the interactions among various cultural influences blossomed into a vibrant exchange of philosophies, art, and technology. Moreover, the architectural and monumental legacies of the Achaemenids, most notably epitomized in structures like Persepolis, not only served as symbols of imperial power, but also as statements of royal ideology. These grand edifices showcase the wealth and sophistication of the empire, while their intricate carvings and inscriptions celebrated the achievements of the sovereign and the diverse peoples they governed. The concept of kingship took on a divine aspect, with rulers portrayed as protectors of order against chaos, further entrenching their legitimacy. Such artistic expressions were not merely aesthetic. They were a means of reinforcing the narrative of a benevolent ruler who promoted peace and prosperity, thereby immortalizing their visions for future generations. As the Achaemenid Empire expanded, so too did its innovations in science, mathematics, and agriculture, all of which laid the groundwork for future advancements in these fields. Agricultural techniques adopted from various regions allowed for improved crop yields, feeding a growing population and solidifying the economic base of the empire. The establishment of a standardized currency facilitated trade across vast distances, connecting previously isolated economies. This economic prowess was complemented by advancements in infrastructure, including an intricate road system that allowed for communication and military mobilization that was unparalleled at the time. The royal road became a lifeline, ensuring that news and resources could flow freely across the empire. This blend of economic and infrastructural innovation was instrumental in allowing the Achaemenids to maintain control over a sprawling territory, showcasing an acumen for sustainable development. In essence, the Achaemenid legacy endures not just in historical texts or monumental ruins, but in the very principles underpinning modern governance, diplomacy, and cultural integration. The blueprint laid down by this ancient civilization continues to inspire nations today, encapsulating ideals of coexistence, dialogue, and shared progress. It is a reminder that the threads of history are intricately woven, with each empire, each ruler, and each culture contributing to the rich fabric of human experience. As we transition into the growing rivalries that define the Achaemenid expansion, we see not only a quest for territory, but also a contest of ideas, a battle for the very essence of what it means to wield power in an interconnected world. As the Persian Empire blossomed into a formidable superpower, it found itself navigating a landscape rich with rivalries and competition that not only shaped its trajectory, but also defined the dynamic of the ancient world. With its borders stretching from the Indus Valley in the east to the Aegean Sea in the west, the empire's expansion was marked by both calculated military conquests and astute diplomacy. Encounters with neighboring states, each with their unique cultures and ambitions, served to galvanize its strength. The Persians, under the Achaemenid dynasty, evolved from enduring local skirmishes to confronting larger adversaries, such as the Greeks and the Medes, whose aspirations mirrored their own. The Persian approach to expansion was characterized by a keen understanding of their rivals. The military prowess of the empire was complemented by its leaders' willingness to pursue alliances when necessary, fostering a sense of stability even amid rivalry. When faced with strong foes, such as Lydia or Babylon, the Persian strategy was often less about brute force and more about subversion and integration. By employing innovative techniques like psychological warfare and superior logistics, they turned potential threats into tributary states, effectively expanding their domain without the full weight of war. Much like a master sailor navigating a tempestuous sea, the Persians learned to deftly maneuver through competition, transforming rivals into allies. Cyrus the Great's foundational strategies were instrumental in this rapid ascent, but they were only the beginning. His successors carried the torch, driving further into the territories of stunning cultures, from the Egyptians to the Scythians, each encounter enriching Persian identity through cultural exchange. As the empire expanded, so too did its wealth, drawn from the tributaries and trade flowing through its veins. Routes that spanned vast distances became conduits of not just gold and silver, but also ideas, technologies, and innovations, allowing Persia to harness the strength born from its rivalries. In a way, each conquest opened a door to a new world, revealing unknown treasures that revolutionized governance, art, and even science. As conflicts flared and alliances shifted, the Persian ability to assimilate and adapt became its greatest asset. Rivalries spurred competition, and competition inspired creativity. The emergence of vibrant marketplaces along the Silk Road and innovations in irrigation and architecture mirror this symbiosis of contest and cooperation. These exchanges did not merely fortify the empire, they transformed its inhabitants, weaving a tapestry of culture that would resonate for centuries. In the grand game of power, the Persian Empire became not just a conqueror, but a facilitator of ideas, a monument to the resilience and adaptability of human ambition. Yet, as ambition rose, so too did complexities. The very rivalries that fueled expansion also sowed the seeds of future discord. The empire's vastness meant that governing diverse populations required delicate balancing acts and attentiveness to local customs and rebellions. In their quest to unite this sprawling realm, the Persians faced challenges as intricate as the web of their earlier ambitions, setting the stage for the trials that lay ahead. With each victory and setback, a new understanding of power emerged, revealing that the path to becoming the first superpower in history was a journey filled not just with triumphs, but layered with the darker shadows of rivalry. The stage was now set for the empire's ultimate reckoning, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows on the remnants of once mighty cities. The Persian Empire faced an unraveling that seemed unfathomable in its halcyon days. The sprawling realm, forged through conquest and diplomacy, was now marked by discontent and fracture. Political intrigue festered in the heart of power, undermining the very foundations that had once united diverse peoples. Like a grand tapestry, the rich interweaving of cultures and traditions began to fray, leaving threads of discord in its wake. The central authority that had stood as a beacon of stability waned, replaced by regional satraps whose ambitions often eclipsed loyalty to the greater Persian heartland. In the twilight of this empire, external pressures converged with internal strife, creating a perfect storm. The Greeks, emboldened by previous encounters, saw a window of opportunity. With the image of an invincible Persian juggernaut now clouded by arrogance and overextension, they rallied their city-states. The decisive battles of Marathon and Salamis signaled a shifting tide, echoing through the marble halls of Persepolis. It was as if the very momentum that had propelled the Persians to greatness began to stall, like a chariot suddenly caught in the muck of its own grandeur. Meanwhile, royal succession crises stoked the flames of disunity. Power struggles erupted as ambitious claimants vied for the throne, each driven not by a vision for the empire's future, but by personal ambition. It was a bitter irony. The empire that had mastered the art of governance and cultural integration was now crumbling under the weight of unchecked power. Trust eroded among the ruling elite, and the harmonious blend of distinct peoples began to fracture into rival factions, each chipping away at the empire's cohesion like waves eroding a fragile cliffside. As if sensing the collapse, the empire's enemies circled, eager to claim the spoils of Persia's own mortality. The very highways and trade routes that had once fostered prosperity morphed into arteries of conflict. The once assured distribution of goods and ideas turned into the means of warfare, as rival factions unleashed their militaries in greedy pursuit of territorial gain. The resources were plentiful, yet the empire's heart was no longer united in a common purpose. What once served as a conduit for wealth and splendor now became the battlegrounds that etched the painful chapters of decline into history. As the curtain fell on the Persian Empire, its territory fragmented into pieces easily claimed by those ready to assert their own legacy. The mighty walls of Babylon, once resplendent and vibrant, stood as mere remnants of glory, the sun set on a civilization rich in achievement, yet marked by the foibles of power and pride. In the midst of this historical unraveling, the echoes of its past glory serve as a poignant reminder that even the mightiest of empires are not immune to the forces of change. As Persia slipped from its zenith, it left an indelible mark on the world, a cautionary tale that power, though dazzling, is but a fleeting brilliance in the grand tapestry of human history. As the Persian Empire unfurled across vast swathes of territory, it became a masterclass in diplomacy that shaped its enduring legacy. At the heart of their approach was an understanding of the multifaceted nature of human interaction. The Persians did not merely conquer, they engaged. They forged intricate alliances, not simply through the power of the sword, but by cultivating relationships based on mutual respect, pragmatic agreements, and cultural sensitivity. This nuanced diplomacy enabled them to govern diverse populations, threading together varied languages, traditions, and belief systems. And in so doing, they transformed potential conflict into cohesive harmony. Cyrus the Great, the empire's founder, exemplified this diplomatic acumen. He recognized that the foundation of a lasting empire lay not in oppression, but in fostering loyalty among conquered peoples. His famed Edict of Tolerance allowed diverse communities to retain their customs, thus reducing the likelihood of rebellion. This policy of respect created a diplomatic framework that other empires would later admire and seek to emulate. Persian diplomats became skilled negotiators who delicately navigated the intricacies of regional politics, valuing even the smallest of states as potential allies rather than mere subjects. By integrating local elites into the administrative structure, the Persians turned many of their adversaries into allies, enhancing their influence and stability across their vast lands. The Persians also leveraged the period's burgeoning trade networks as a diplomatic tool. By establishing safe passage for merchants and travelers through the intricate web of the Royal Road, they not only enhanced economic prosperity, but also fostered goodwill among diverse nations. Commercial exchanges became bridges of dialogue, encouraging a flow of ideas, goods, and influence. This economic diplomacy underscored the understanding that wealth and stability thrive in a realm where cooperation triumphs over coercion. Much like a well-crafted mosaic, Persian diplomacy intricately connected the empire by weaving the threads of culture and economy into a comprehensive and resilient tapestry. Ultimately, the enduring lessons of Persian diplomacy resonate even in contemporary geopolitics. The empire's methods underscore the potency of empathy, negotiation, and a deep understanding of cultural dynamics in establishing and maintaining power. As modern nations navigate complex international landscapes, the strategies employed by the Persians remind us that building alliances, respecting differences, and promoting shared interests can create lasting stability and peace. In a world where the echoes of historical precedents still influence present realities, the diplomatic innovations of the Persian Empire serve as both a guide and a cautionary tale for the ambitious superpowers of today. The Persian Empire, often considered the first superpower in history, opens a fascinating window into the nature of power dynamics that resonate with the world today. Its vast territory and diverse cultures mirror the complex geopolitical landscape of modern superpowers like the United States, China, and Russia. Just as the Persians conquered lands from the Indus Valley to the Aegean Sea, contemporary nations wield their influence across continents, negotiating global affairs through a blend of military might, economic dominance, and cultural export. The nuanced interplay of diplomacy and warfare in both eras underscores a common thread: the quest for stability and influence in an ever-evolving political arena. Central to the Persian Empire's success was its innovative approach to governance, which resonates with the bureaucratic sophistication of today's superpowers. The Achaemenids implemented a system of satrapies, akin to modern subnational governance structures, allowing for a degree of local autonomy, while ensuring overarching loyalty to the central authority. This method of regional management can be paralleled with how contemporary nations often delegate localized power to address the complexities of diverse populations. The ability to balance control and autonomy is not just a relic of Persian strategy. It remains a critical challenge for modern states striving for unity in diversity while ensuring their own stability. Furthermore, the Persian Empire adeptly exploited trade networks to fuel its economic engine. Much like today's superpowers leverage global interconnectedness to strengthen their positions. The Silk Road carried not only goods but also ideas, technologies, and cultures, echoing the modern parallels of international trade agreements and cultural diplomacy undertaken by nations aiming for global market dominance. The ability to foster economic interdependence has become a strategic cornerstone for powers today, reflecting a long-standing understanding that wealth can be a pathway to influence. By controlling vital trade routes, the Persians laid the groundwork for what many contemporary nations pursue through both economic cooperation and competition. Moreover, the Persians' ability to blend various cultures within their vast empire is reminiscent of how modern superpowers brandish their cultural influence worldwide. Just as Persian administrators adopted local customs to foster allegiance, today's nations recognize the power of soft diplomacy, promoting their culture through entertainment, education, and technology. Language, art, and ideas spread like wildfire across the globe, shaping perceptions and fostering connections that transcend borders. This cultural exchange allows for a softening of hard power, illustrating that in many ways, influence is as much about persuasion and connection as it is about military or economic strength. As we draw comparisons between the Persian Empire and modern superpowers, it becomes clear that historical legacies can inform and illuminate current strategies in international relations. The lessons taught by the rise and fall of Persia reveal the intrinsic complexities at play when nations vie for dominance. In understanding these dynamics, one gains a richer perspective on the cyclical nature of power, where the actions of the past echo into the present, shedding light on the ongoing quest for stability, influence, and ultimately dominance in a world that is perpetually in flux. As we reflect on the extraordinary journey of the Persian Empire, a shift in how we understand power and influence begins to emerge. A superpower is not merely defined by its military might or vast territories. It is the intricate weaving of governance, culture, economics, and ideology that creates a lasting legacy. The Persian Empire championed an anthropological understanding of leadership that prioritized loyalty and cooperation over mere domination. In an age where sheer force governed most empires, the Persians sought a more nuanced approach. Their influence was derived from fostering relationships, often through a blend of diplomacy and respect for the vast tapestry of cultures within their borders, from the vibrant cities of Mesopotamia to the nomadic tribes of Central Asia. Imagine, if you will, a grand marketplace buzzing with the sounds of diverse languages and ideas, where merchants from all walks of life share not only goods, but philosophies and customs. This vibrant exchange was the hallmark of the Persian Empire, which recognized that true power radiates from the ability to unite various peoples, aspirations, and identities under a common banner. The foundation of this empire was built upon the profound understanding that cultural exchanges, rather than imperial imposition, would cultivate the richest soil for loyalty and stability. Persian rulers, such as Cyrus and Darius, exemplified this strategy, creating an environment of mutual respect that allowed local traditions to flourish while integrating them into the broader identity of the empire. In this light, the Persian model of governance can be seen as a precursor to modern superpowers, many of which grapple with the complexities of multicultural societies today. The subtle art of persuasion, negotiation, and coalition building has replaced the blunt force of direct control in many contexts across the globe. The Achaemenid Empire's innovative methods of management present lessons that resonate well beyond their time. Treaties and alliances crafted by Persian leaders fostered not only stability, but also prosperity, proving that influence can thrive even in the absence of direct control. To understand this evolution in the concept of power is to appreciate that it is not static. The fluidity of influence, as demonstrated by the Persians, is shaped by social dynamics, cultural flows, and economic interdependence. As we analyze more contemporary superpowers, it is evident that an empire's durability hinges not solely on military strength, but on the ability to navigate a complex interplay of relations, manifesting a soft power that encourages a spirit of collaboration. Thus, the legacy of the Persian Empire invites us to reconsider how we define modern power. The emphasis on creating durable linkages between diverse groups, fostering dialogue, and engendering trust serves as a model from which we can draw insights as we move further into an interconnected future. In the end, as we peel back the layers of history, we unveil a narrative that is both humbling and inspiring. The Persian Empire's pioneering strategies in building a cohesive society from a multitude of cultures deliver enduring lessons on diplomacy and influence. As current and future leaders grapple with the myriad complexities of a globalized world, one cannot help but look back to Persia, a civilization that transformed the landscape of power not just through size and might, but by elevating the very essence of what it means to lead with integrity, compassion, and wisdom. This enduring influence serves as a touchstone, inviting us to envision new pathways in the ongoing quest for a more harmonious and collaborative world order.